HYDAX is the pioneer manufacturer of hydraulic equipment in India. So we were what today is this famous tagline of Atmanirbhar. We were actually the first manufacturers of this product in India, and we replaced an entire imported market at that point in time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of 8. My name is Sanjay Chakrabarti. I'm the founder of Tag 8. Today's guest is someone who I've known practically right from my childhood days. Our families were very, very close friends. Practically, you can say we were part of one family. I'm absolutely delighted to have with me Meetali Mukherjee, who is the MD of HYDAX Private Limited. Meetali, thanks for taking out time.
Hello, really nice to talk to you, Sanjay.
So, Meetali, you know the format of the show. Let me get in straight away. Who's Meetali in one breath?
Who's Meetali? So, just before we started, we had this talk about Bengalis and Bengali pet names, and I'm one of those people who didn't have a pet name. Now, one way of some would say, "Oh, I was not someone's pet, and that's why." But I have another take on this. I think it allowed me to be me. I did not need another tag. So I was just Mithali, and I was allowed to be that for a major part of my life. That is very important to who I am. Um, I delved into many areas before I found my calling, from working in the garment factories to working with an NGO, which largely forms my thinking and ethos and the way I work and live right now. Um, Tried out many small things here and there before coming back, and also in the corporate world. Um, did a small stint there too, which was pretty successful. And that's when my father said, come into the family business. So, but I think doing all these many things helped me become what I am, and also know a little bit of everything.
Meetali, getting to the second question, HYDAX, tell us something about that.
HYDAX is the pioneer manufacturer of hydraulic equipment in India. So we were what today is this famous tagline of Atmanirbhar. We were actually the first manufacturers of this product in India, and we replaced an entire imported market at that point in time. But since 2014-15, we also got in the machine building through Ashwin, my husband. So we joined forces, and now we are HYDAX Private Limited. So we are making a broad spectrum of products. We've moved away from only the hydraulics. Now we make some special purpose machines, which again is a pioneering kind of technology in India. Um, don't want to reveal right now, but 2 weeks back we had a huge big breakthrough in one of our processes. So we will be formally going in for the assessment of that, and that is a game changer. And we uh, wouldn't like to reveal too much at this stage. I'm sure you all will hear about it by and by.
Nice. So, something that jumps out is, and you mentioned that, you always had that being you right from day one. And in especially in those days, it was reasonably rebellious for, you to be you. So, uh, the most exciting part of this me speaking to you really has been the fact that being a lady, you have kind of broken all glass ceilings. You're in the manufacturing sector, engineering. It's even there are, you will find these thousand anecdotes about how a lady in an engineering college would find it so difficult because there are hardly anyone of there aren't too many ladies doing that. How did you, without an engineering degree, kind of get here in the first place?
I think I call myself an engineer at heart, and the only regret I have is that I do not have a formal engineering degree. But from the time I was a little child, my father was a very hands-on person. So you in every house you have that one person who's the assistant, and when there's some repair going on, there's somebody handing the screwdriver and somebody handing the plier, and I was that person. So I learned a lot of small things all along the way. In the south, we call it Tambi. Tambi is that little brother. So when you go to a garage to get your bike repaired, no, there's this little boy hanging around who's handing out spanners and all. So I was that person even in the factory. When I joined the business, also my father threw me on the shop floor. Email answering was all after 5:30. You do your 8 hour stint on the shop floor. I used to at that point eat my lunch. Even now we do. We all eat together with everybody on the shop floor. I would carry my tiffin and go there and eat with everybody. So it's been something that uh, is part of me. I cannot imagine not working with my hands. If there's anything I hate is answering the phone, looking at the screen for too long. I would rather be on the shop floor any day, all 8 hours, than doing all of the emails and answering all of these things. So maybe if I had the opportunity of just doing just that, I would. But I think being an entrepreneur, it doesn't really allow you that. There is so much more you have to do now. Um, I have kind of made peace with the fact that I have to balance it out with being there on the shop floor doing design and doing this. Not being a woman, yeah, it has its pitfalls. I mean, even in a regular corporate structure there are, and I think being in
Yeah.
manufacturing, it's even more. Sometime back I attended a talk by Prahlad Kakkar, and he was telling me the one thing that how he brought women into his office was by providing a clean toilet. He said that was the
Right.
key to having women come into your office. And we all laughed about it. But then, that's such a serious matter. I have been for exhibitions in places, in cities like Pune, where there isn't a toilet for women, and you're there all day. Another part is the attitude of men, because until a few years ago, men had mainly seen women only as housekeeping staff or secretaries
Mhm.
in manufacturing
Right.
industry. So to get used to the fact that there is a woman across the table who wants to speak to you in your language as an equal is still baby steps, getting there. Lot of great moves made. uh, I was also a little fortunate to be helming the company, so there were not too many kind of rude statements made or overtly sexual, though there were. Without a doubt, there have been instances. Um, one particular company who I don't even want to go to. I mean, it's the kind of statements that are made, as a woman, you're talking to the purchase guy and he says, अच्छा ये सब छोड़िए आप शाम को क्या कर रही है
Huh.
and you have to deal with that kind of mindset. It's this balance,
Right.
trying to tell your
Right.
mind what to do at that point in time. It's a tough call. It's a tough call.
Wow.
You learn, develop a thick skin over a period of time. um Not sure, I'm still not sure whether it's the best thing to do, whether to ignore it is really the ideal thing.
Mitali, coming to the next question, 20 years in the setup, what's been that one big learning of yours?
So I would like to just, narrate a small incident which happened a few years before I joined HYDAX. I had started another venture of my own where I was getting orders from garment companies for handmade objects and training women who wanted to work from home in the specific skill and getting orders from them to get the job done. Uh, all was well until a friend joined me and said I would help you, and then took one of the orders, undercut the cost, and then took the order from me. Uh, now, the most normal thing would have been, okay, it happened, move on, get the next order. but I was so disheartened because this was a huge labor of love for me. I did it because I really loved this work. I loved making things with my hands. And I just gave up the business and took a job. I gave up. And that was huge. So when I joined HYDAX, we had a major change. Just a year, 2 years after I had joined, where we were becoming unproductive. Um, there was a tool down strike at one point, with the workers who'd been there for over 20 years. And my father was thinking of selling the business off, but I thought it was a good product and it really needed to move further. And I said, let's not give up. So we started from scratch and at a new location. Everything, almost everything had to be redone, from new vendors to just transporting the products, the statutory changes in address, the legalese that you have to go through, government organizations, all of that, and with a whole new workforce. um, Everything from scratch. And I think not giving up was something that stayed with me. I, especially if there's something good you're doing, if you really believe in it, if you like it, I don't think one should give up.
Let me get to the other bit, is that any personal habit of yours that has added value as far as your uh, entrepreneurship is concerned.
Vishveshwarya, the famous, engineer scientist of Karnataka, who's built many structures like, uh, the dam, the Kabni Dam, all of that. And he said, change of work is relaxation. So both my husband and I are the kind who, even after coming home, we work. We are always working on something. So, when we come home, so I always have some project on. There's either woodworking or there's making something or the other. There's something in the house which is being done. Like right now, we both are working. It's Ashwin's birthday project, which he's kind of uh, making a dysfunctional 1972 bullet, bring it back to life.
Wow.
So we're both of us working on, actually the whole family is working on it and the neighborhood. So uh, yeah, so that's a huge project that's going to take, we're like right from scratch. There are parts that have rusted and there are holes, and we're not buying new parts, we're somehow trying to make that. So that change in work, I think, is something that really, again, it's about making, it's all over again, it's about engineering, it's making, but then it gives us a huge break and many a time gives us insights into our present work. So I think
Interesting. Very,
for
very interesting.
me, every day coming home, and even if it's 5 minutes, even 5 minutes after, even a very late night, I have to do a little bit of what I'm doing, my project. Even if it's one thing, even if I just open the box, is
Yeah.
enough. I've picked up something, looked at it, made a plan for the next day. That's fine. That's enough to recharge you and take you back to work the next day. Yeah, that's huge.
Interesting. So, Mitali, last question, one breath. Where do you see Hydrax in 8 months and in 8 years?
Yeah, company is now what, 42 years old, so 8 years looks like really small. Not so bad. I'm sure we'll be around 8 years from now. 8 months, 8 months is the thing. There are right now a lot of changes going on, so kind of giving more finish, honing our processes and products is something that's ongoing. It's all the time. We are falling back a little on some of that. So getting that in place is definitely 8 months. 8 years also, I would say this would go on, but 8 years is huge in terms of the industry, the economy that we are living in right now. It's so ever changing. The things that have happened. The only break I took in my life was 1.25 years when my first child was born, and in that space emails had come. I mean, so, and today it's even more. I mean, every time, even yesterday I attended a seminar, and the possibilities that are there right now are so immense that saying 8 years from now that HYDAX will be making these same products is a bit far fetched, right?
Right.
Because the
Right.
industry is changing so dynamically, and the prospects that are there with us. We are right now also experimenting with some energy products, the other sustainable product thing that we are working on, the skill development. Now those are things that are looking so good and so viable right now. You never know, 8 years from now we could be doing only that, right?
Right.
So I
Right.
wouldn't be so kind of stuck on saying, okay, 8 years from now hydraulics will be this 10 million company or something like that. I mean, what, 100 million? No, none of that. I would love to go with the flow, and if tomorrow life takes me in totally another field, I'm quite open to it.
That's
Either which way.
outstanding. Mithali, I
Yeah,
think, every time I speak to you, I just am energized. So that's one of the reasons that, I try and get in touch with you and have a conversation. You're truly inspirational, especially the type of work you're doing, and, from the background you had to where you've reached. It's always exciting. And I will keep my ear open for the breakthrough you spoke about. And I'm sure
yeah.
we'll hear a lot about
So
that. But thank you so much
absolutely.
for taking time off. Greatly appreciate, and I hope to see you
Thank
soon.
you. Yeah, absolutely. We must catch up soon. And thank you for thinking of me. And yeah, I have huge affection towards you and the work that you're doing. Really proud of you.